Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another awesome showcase from DJ, your beautiful host. Today I have the lovely, lovely guest, Christy O'Connor. See, she got fancy on me. I didn't expect that was definitely a surprise to me. Well, definitely. Let me tell the folks, first of all, how are you doing so far today? I know a lot has been going on.
A lot has been going on. However, it does seem as though we may see a fall in the powers that be. I hope that's true. Come on, Pennsylvania and Georgia. So my mental health is getting better. How's yours?
I am hanging in there, taking one art piece at a time, one interview at a time. But hey, just glory to God all the time, because, with every day, you just never know what you're going to get, and you just do what you can.
It's true.
Well, definitely, if you guys ever hear an echo or such, it's because her studio is very huge and wide. So please forgive the echo-ness. We're trying the best that we can. Also, too, let me tell you guys a little snip about how I actually met Christy and such. She's actually one of the co-owners, BSB Art Gallery. It was really, really amazing at the time. However, due to circumstances, life changed, things changed, and she grew a little bit better right along with her awesome friend. You guys saw last time on my show, Brass Rabbit, that was her partner. Now we're talking about Chrissy, which is the other half of the partnership. We had a such great bond. She was actually one of the first art curators that actually helped my art career to branch where it is now and today. And without Christy and Brass, I gotta shout out again, my career wouldn't be the way that it is, that wouldn't be shining the way that it is now, because of these two lovely, confident ladies and such. And as you can see, she's royal. She got the pearls, the hair, the flair. So you really gotta tell us. I can say but so much, but who the heck are you?
Well, so one of the things I've been doing most recently in my artwork is performance, and I have just been embodying the persona of Marie Antoinette this past summer. And for those of you who may not know, Marie Antoinette was the last feudal queen of France before the French Revolution. And I've just been seeing so many similarities between the events that led up to the French Revolution and what's happening here now in America, that I've really just been taking it on and trying to unpack it all, if you will.
Really dope. I'm feeling it. I know some people, I want to make sure that I get, this is my first time actually hearing an interdisciplinary artist. Let's get a little bit more in touch about what that really is. That's a different type of artistry. I'm not so familiar with it, but let's talk about that. Where do that stand in the art field? So
interdisciplinary is just a fancy term, because we're all fancy here in the art world. It's really just a term that means that you not only do you work in multiple disciplines, but you also combine and intertwine them within one another. So basically, I work in lots of different mediums, and then I combine them to get together to create whole personas and pieces. So I do sculpture, I do performance, I do 2D mixed media, and then I'm just embodying and encompassing all of it together to create these works that I'm currently invested in.
And it's really cool how you do combine all of them, and we'll definitely show and touch upon it on your portfolio. We're seeing it right now, and it's really authentic about your work. Yours speak very huge volumes. You definitely go in context about history. Definitely about women history. Intuitive of the gender and the sexual equality as well. You're very huge of embracing and being empowering of not just culture itself, but also looking beyond the imagery of how we perceive certain things when it comes to gender and sexuality as well. How we really, you really voice a lot in your work, challenging people's perceptions, even during history as well. I mean, you're currently doing it right now. So cool, you know?
Yeah, well, I think it's really important. One, understanding history, but also understanding perspective and perceptions, because just because I perceive something a particular way does not mean you'll perceive it the same way I did. We come from different backgrounds, we come from different environments that taught us and socially conditioned us in ways to think and believe the world around us. And so no matter who, what kind of interaction each person has with, like, say, a cupcake, for instance, the way I perceive this cupcake will look different than other people and how they perceive this cupcake. And it's important to really understand, especially in trying to drive conversation with one another, it's just important to understand where we're seeing things and how we can make each other see things differently.
Yes, that's really beautiful. I mean, you adapt this idea not just in your own work, but you also did curating in your history as well too, and you look for people who have similarities of certain topics as well, that has certain layers to it. It's, if I can give you a description to everybody, the beauty about Christy, she looks and she gravitates to who has a complexity and layers of work into their work, and how she can even see herself in somebody else's work. So you pretty much use this not just only personally for yourself, you use this method and these beautiful contents as a way of adapting to all peoples of work. It's really amazing how you show your appreciation throughout another person's appreciation and their topics and such. I wanted to talk a little bit more too about how do you grasp and get the inspiration to really do what you do, because I know it must be a bundle of joy, you know, getting this and everything. So how do you really find motivation to just keep on doing what you do?
So how do I find motivation? I'll tell you this. I actually, I only just started my professional art practice about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Before that, I taught for 10 years. And so, and I taught preschool. It was fun. But, so basically, my first year of art making was really just me trying to figure out what I wanted to make and why I wanted to make it. And when I was in college, I was studying art, and I was always I had an interest in feminism back then too. Like that was like my niche. But as I was re-beginning that in my professional practice, I was like, I don't want to shoebox myself in the corner. Blah, blah, blah. And then I realized by doing that, I was denying myself my own voice of what I already knew what I had to say to people, like anything of true meaning. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna make the work that speaks to me, and if I put myself in a shoebox corner, then that's what I'm doing. I'm putting myself in a corner.
We hear that sometimes. So I want to get it a little bit more, and I want to show the folks a couple of your stuff. I know you have your Instagram page, which is so awesome. I recommend everybody, please do follow Christy on her Instagram. Let's go ahead and show that real quick. Here we are. It's Chrissy O'Connor Art. definitely follow her right here on Instagram. She got some really, really beautiful imagery, especially just in general, video clips. I'm going to show a little bit later. She has some work where her inspiration comes from. I really, really definitely want to grasp and get into the whole ideas of what you do and such. I mean, especially this one is actually your current work right now. Um, especially this is this is this one is my favorite image. I couldn't find like the image itself by itself, but this one is my favorite image because you took this during the time of the pandemic as well. How has that affected you, especially during the time of this as well, trying to get your artwork out? Do you feel like it related to your situation, especially to this topic?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I started doing performance because of COVID.
Huh?
Yeah, I basically I was so stressed out and filled with anxiety that I had no ability to concentrate. So I started performance as a way to really be able to get through creative block and also find a way to express myself again in a meaningful manner that helped me to figure out what I was doing with myself during this time, because I felt like everything was so meaningless and pointless. Um, because so much around us was happening that was so big and so bad, and how can my voice even reflect that or matter in a meaningful way? And it felt selfish and stupid, but I still needed to say something because artists are selfish and stupid sometimes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's to each their own. Everybody doesn't. Once again, it's going right back to what you said. It's about pretty much people's perception. There's going to be people who are going to agree, disagree. I mean, we're all over,
Yeah.
when it comes to people's opinions. But I love what you even have right here in your caption. Think a lot about Marie Antoinette today and how I will further this work and concept from a sculptural forms and performance to addressing classism, patriarchal norms, and the scrutiny of the white supremacy, and how all of these social systems are interconnected. Definitely tell me why you state that in your caption, especially with this imagery, because it speaks even more volumes by just having that as your caption.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it'll come back to that notion of perception and understanding the world around us and understanding ourselves. Quite frankly, like everything is interconnected, especially when it comes to our social structures, social norms, political environment, economics. And the people at the tippy top are the ones that benefit from keeping all of us divided. And that's been the way since the beginning of history. Well, not the beginning of history, but since the beginning of America, for sure. So basically, it's really trying to drive conversation, trying to get people to understand that yes, these things are here, these things are real. We can't keep ignoring them. Things are just going to keep getting worse if we keep ignoring them. And there are very problematic white people and white women who just vehemently deny that these things exist, and they're very problematic. And I don't like being in that group of demographic. And so I feel like I need to address, white women in particular, of just how problematic we can be, and how if you can just see that for a moment, maybe we can start changing how we are as a whole. You know what I mean?
True. And I know a lot of people will probably respond to what you just mentioned as, oh my goodness, that's so courageous of you to say. It shouldn't even be courageous for you to say. It should be, well, wow, I never thought of that.
Mm.
And
well, the thing is, white women benefit exponentially from white supremacy. And white women also benefit from patriarchy. But they don't understand that it's also keeping us, not just us, but and the people that we suppress as a result of that. It's keeping us all down, and we lose so much as a society by keeping other people suppressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just think of like the amazing, like human beings are resources to our planet, and like our resources, we're just wasting ourselves away, working 12-hour day jobs that are meaningless, when we could be like, wouldn't it be great if everyone had the ability to spend, 5 hours a day just doing creative things?
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, the average person, like all of us too, and especially I feel that the pandemic had a force to make people open their eyes, especially about what they're really content with, what they're really happy with, like really actually questioning what they're doing is really what they really want to do. And that's what's really just mind-blowing about how this particular period of time is challenging us to really look a little further and deeper about our situation currently. And I'm gonna be honest with you too, when I personally saw this image, I mean pretty much seeing all of them, but this one, I kind of felt that you took the current situation and said, well, what would have, it made me think like, what would have happened if this situation was to be, at that time period? What would the response be? What would the situations be? What would life look if it happened then? And where will we look like now?
So, DJ, I have some information for you on that.
There we go. See?
So they didn't have as massive of a pandemic situation as coronavirus, but during Marie Antoinette's time, they did deal with smallpox outbreaks quite frequently. And you know what they would do? They would quarantine up to 6 months at a time to make sure that everything was safe again before people went back to their courts and whatnot.
Wow. I didn't even know that. I never even read about that. Learned something new. So
actually, Louis the 15th. That was Marie Antoinette's grandfather-in-law. He died of smallpox, and basically they all after they laid him to rest, they all quarantined for 6 months, and then they were allowed to invite, their nobles and court back to court after that.
Wow, that's something. And now it's history repeating itself. You see, like everything that happens already has happened. I wanted to talk about another part of your work as well. I wanted to go a little dive deep into your Instagram. I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. You do have, but even way beyond this work, especially, I wanted to get onto this especially. Here we go. I can show the folks real quick. Here we go. Talk about this, because this definitely speaks volumes itself. You definitely have to get me really in your head on this one.
So yeah, I did a whole series. I spent a whole day inside a plastic garbage bag and just did photo stills of that experience. But basically, so I am an anxiety sufferer. I suffer from severe anxiety and panic attacks. And I was having them incredibly difficult during the beginning of the pandemic. And so I was trying to visually really show what it felt like to be trapped inside your body, like you can't breathe, you can't move, and all of these feelings that come with anxiety of feeling trapped inside yourself.
Yeah, especially like here. Definitely. You got your friend here, Punk Off Girl, said this is terrifying.
And that it is.
It is. I had a feeling this was really what it was, because that's what I kind of got the vibe off of. I got the vibe of pretty much, like anxiety, depression, like inner mental health, pretty much the mental health state. And you pretty much post this around May, pretty much during the pandemic and stuff. This is pretty much another one of the pieces in around the content. I love how you show exposure. You have a really excellent eye for bringing and showing exposure to situations, and especially using yourself as an illustration. So what was I know you probably said it earlier, but go a little bit further in depth of the symbolicness of why you use a clear plastic bag.
Well, I wanted to be able to show well, first of all, I think one of the things that I've always done, even in college, I did a lot of self-portraiture experiences, and again, it's a selfish thing. It's also a convenient thing because I don't need to find a model, right?
Yeah.
So, but a lot of these works that I do are not about me per se, but again, about how I am experiencing the world around me. And so I want to use myself as that model, that figure, because it's about the perceptions I'm experiencing.
Yes.
And so my choice in the clear plastic bag, it was really so that you could see me and see me within the piece in the work, and that you could see that there's a body trapped in there.
Wow. And it's really just beautiful. It's really beautiful because it gets you at a moment like it pauses you for that good moment, because it's really right there in your face. I really do. I just love that about your style. Your style has exposure. It brings, but it's almost peaceful in a sense, because even too, when I showed earlier, another of the clip where you show without sound, but you show the act. That's what's really fascinating. Let me show that again. Here we go. Like, even when you don't just have sound, you show the act. We also feel it a little bit differently. One thing with the photo, but it's another thing when you show something like a boomerang effect.
Yeah.
It lingers and it makes you feel like, that trappedness. And that's what anxiety pretty much is. It's feeling trapped within yourself. So
yeah.
how long did it take you to do this piece and such?
I spent a whole day doing the photo shoot, and then just kind of, a few pieces I might have photoshopped a little bit to make them more refined and finished, but not I don't do more than like day-long photo shoot kind of things.
I know. Well, you're a busybody anyway. So you can't, I can understand what your schedule and everything. You got to make sure you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just really just mind-blowing. Please definitely follow her on her Instagram, Christy O'Connor Art. It's definitely great. You'll have a whole adventure, and I feel like when I go on your Instagram or your portfolio, especially on your website, I just feel like I go in a whole book of Chrissy's mind. It's like a whole another dimension. And
Chapter 3, psychology.
It's just so cool how you really grasp and take multiple topics and put you put your just own twist, like a Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe to it, to mix with a surrealism type of scream type of effect. But I really, really want to like truly know, Chrissy, what or even how do you use your art to change the world? How?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm changing the world. Hopefully one mind at a time, right? Yeah, so I mean, again, like I said, I'm really just trying, hopefully, to reach people in a way that makes them stop and think, and oh, well, maybe there is something more I should look into, especially when I grab in that historical piece to it. I think a lot of times I'll like write up a little information about something and whatnot, and with the hope that maybe someone will look further into it or whatever, and try to learn a little more. But yeah, and not only that, but like I said earlier, I'm really hoping to reach my female like counterparts who tend to be a little problematic, also in the art world too. I think sometimes white women experience suppression as well. But I think sometimes we get so hung up in our own suppression that we don't realize that we're doing it to other people as well.
Other people, yeah.
And I'm hoping, and I'm trying. What I'm trying to do most recently is to add humor into it, make it a little more approachable.
Yeah.
And then maybe if I can make you laugh, then I can make you also be like, oh shit, that's me. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I definitely no, I know. Oh, trust me, I know you. You do bring. I mean, I could give them example of one of them. You definitely have a nice, cool satire to it. Where here it is. It's this one part you have that is like really intriguing. I don't know if it's in a play or such. It's having a little moment, but like it's not. I think it's gonna be. I mean, this one got it. Oh yes, I like this too. You really, really do have an interesting way of really showing what you really want. Especially in the way that you do your outfits. Oh my gosh. I mean, listen, you guys, every single inch of what we're looking at is all her. Like, not only just physically her. My video's not showing. I guess it's because of my Wi-Fi. Lord have mercy. But it's just so phenomenal and flawless. It really is flawless.
And that is made with paper mache and lace.
That's something too. First of all, you are rocking it. Those legs is life. I would love for some leg work. Woo, child, look at that. I would love my legs to be like that. I'm gonna get it like this soon. But actually, yeah, there's the piece right behind you. It's right there. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one she was just wearing in that photo. Oh my gosh, that's just phenomenal. How long did it that piece actually took you to?
I'd say about 3 weeks to a month.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing that takes the most with paper mache is drying and layering, and so basically underneath it's like paper mache and newspaper. So there's tons of layers of and there's cardboard too. I've got like all the but so first you have to create the structure, then you have to paint it, and with paper mache you take like layers and layers and layers to cover it up properly. So it's like waiting to watch paint dry.
Yeah, definitely. Trust me, I know. I mean, it acts no differently than when you're doing actual paint. So it's like with life, anything with the life of art takes time. Like even coming up with the concept, it takes time. Because being artists, we can come up with probably like 50 trillion things in 1 hour, and then do it. It's like, whew, that was a lot to do with this one idea. But I just really, truly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Chrissy. I truly appreciate every single art of what you do. I appreciate every single curation that you come up with. I mean, especially when you and Brass like combined, you guys are the biggest thread of duo art.
She is my shoulder pad sister. I do have that.
I mean, if you guys didn't see, definitely watch my last interview with her. I mean, definitely you'll now see, and after watching this, definitely rewatch hers again, and you'll definitely see why these two are such the greatest duo. I mean, what put those two combined, you definitely got a whole art explosion, because you never know what you're really gonna get. Chrissy, on the other hand, you really are just a whole masterpiece yourself. I mean, I'm so proud and I'm so grateful and thankful I had the time with you. I still have time with you and such. And that you really do. You show what real women are like in this earth. Because, especially being a feminist in America, we tend to forget, like, there are people of color feminists. We have to remember feminist is about equality. We are no different. And what I love about you is that you admit that this is an issue that is not just only affecting white women. This is affecting all people of womanhood, especially. And you're just so fascinating when it comes to situations of social injustice as well. I mean, this woman, I'm telling you, I meant it this way. This woman right here. She's a killer threat in the whole artistry game. And when I mean she supports the heck of artists, she goes down and she holds you down like she's your best squad, holding it down. So definitely, thank you guys. This was Christy E. O'Connor. Ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-ta. I'm so grateful. I'm so really grateful to have you on here. Definitely, you guys, please support the mess out of her. Here's her Instagram again. I definitely got a show, Christy O'Connor Art. And you can also see her link tree right here as well. She has all her websites, even like Twitter, Facebook, your name. She got everything on there as well. Even
I just started TikTok, guys.
And she got a TikTok. So if I were you, I'll definitely follow that TikTok too, because she got some really great stuff on there as well. It's really cool. Like if
I'm
you think
still learning, but I'm gonna get weird.
Hey, as long as you're driving and giving us that awesome ride of your artistry, that's what really matters. We gotta see more of what you do. But definitely, you guys, please support the mess out of Chrissy, and she'll definitely inform you immediately on her Instagram and her Facebook of multiple other events that she'll be having and holding. I know you'll have pretty much some soon, but you'll keep us updated with all of your social media platforms and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I thank you guys so much for your time. Once again, we're going to love one another, hug one another virtually, safely, ta-taing, and we'll have some beautiful tea together.
Cupcake on me.
It's okay. We have tea and cupcakes. I thank you so much for your time and truly appreciate it. And I pray and hope that everything goes smoothly with all that you do.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Welcome. You guys have a great one. Later.